Hey Avish, what's up?
Hi, Sid. Good to see you again.
Yeah,
It's been
man.
a little bit of a tough week with COVID and you know lots of things going around. But just trying to block all that negativity and focus on some cricket. You know.
Yeah, you can say that again. It's like the Great Depression. The wave has started, the second wave, and yeah, I guess watching sport on TV is like a welcome distraction from it all. So as usual,
Absolutely.
as usual, we'll get to our game on series, see what's been happening in the world of cricket, and yeah, let me show you the results that have been happening. Let's start with the first one, which I feel is a bit of a depression because this match I felt should have been India's to win. They played really well first 2 days. They fought hard, and then somehow it was like when I saw this 36 all out, I thought it was a joke, and then when I saw it for real, to double check, I was like, yeah, and I saw the highlights on catch up, and it was really sad watching it. But credit to Australia, they bowled well, but I still think they should have at least gotten to 150 or 200. What are your thoughts?
Look, when you actually dominating a team for the most part of 6 sessions, I'd say day one and day two, you
Hmm.
won 6 sessions of this match, and then as one session on day three that you get a capitulation of 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 extraordinary proportions, a total battling capitulation, and that's what we got from India. Uh, you know, uh, I give credit to the Australian attack. That those three bowlers. I mean, the way they bowled in tandem, the way they built the pressure. I mean, it was just a matter of time that this Indian top order were going to crack. And if I looked at the bowling as well, India didn't do themselves any favors by getting bowled out for 36.
Hmm.
But there was some seriously good bowling there.
Yeah.
Uh, but I think the one thing that they would look back here and really be disappointed in is, I think the footwork of the batsmen. A lot of them got caught in two minds, to be honest with
Hmm.
you, either to play on the back foot, the front foot. But generally, the Indian batsmen, especially away from home, it seems like when the pitch is doing something and the ball is actually deviating off the pitch, they do have problems. Uh, if I look at all the dismissals, I would think the one exception being Pujara, which he really got a snorter of a delivery and from Cummins, and
Yeah.
that actually beat him. All ends up. It was so close to off stump, which means he had to play it.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
couldn't really leave that ball because, as I said, it was so
Yeah.
close to off stump. So
Yeah.
it was bound to get the outside edge and a
Yeah.
beautiful delivery.
Yeah. To get a ball is
Look,
not easy.
to be honest with you, yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, you you had a night watchman coming in on day three.
Yeah.
Uh, you're allowed to have one bad session. You're allowed to lose maybe 3-4 wickets, but I mean to lose 8 in a session, and and and
Yeah.
and the and the way in which, I mean, the regularity as the way these wickets actually tumble was quite shocking
Hmm.
as well, because
Yeah.
I don't think any of them got to double figures. And I go back to the footwork of the batsman. And
Yeah.
when you're coming from a country that you end up playing on pitches that the ball really doesn't deviate much off the wicket, and there's
Yeah.
not much movement in the air, you tend to be sitting on the back foot a lot. And if I look at this entire batting lineup,
Yeah.
with the exception of Kohli, whose footwork is always very precise, and
Yeah.
he always has a good stride. The rhythms, especially in these sort of conditions, and nobody saw this coming. To be honest with you, I mean, Australia's a fantastic side.
Yeah.
What a fantastic bowling lineup. But I mean, this by no means was a 36 all-out wicket. Even if India got 150, they were in the game because obviously they had a 50-run lead. From the first innings, but they did themselves no favors getting bowled out. Actually, getting bundled out for 36, and in a session.
Actually, realistically, it was 36 for 9 because that one guy was actually injured. So, but even then, 36 for 9, 36 all out is still like
I would say so. Yeah, 36 for 9. I guess so. Because I don't think Shami was in any condition to bat after he got hit on the.
And now he won't play the rest of the series. I think Australia were a bit sneaky there, getting the guy injured, so they don't have to face him. Not that he got any wickets.
Well, injuries are not intentional.
Yeah.
Injuries are not intentional. But if you look at the delivery, I think the bowler followed him. So he was trying to move away, giving himself space, and then the bowler followed him. It's just one of those unfortunate things. But I mean, Shami's not there to make the runs at the end of the day.
Of course, yeah.
It's the top order, and if I look at the top order, there's quite a few players that are under pressure here. India were always going to target this first test because obviously they're going to be missing their captain and in my view their best player for the rest of the series. So that's going to be 3 tests without Kohli.
Yeah, it's a shame that Rohit Sharma isn't going to come yet, but I'm sure he might come for the last 2 tests, so anything can happen. I think as long as India can hopefully, and I'm sure the only consolation is that the next 3 matches will be on with the red ball. I think India will feel like heaven playing with the red ball, and maybe it might give them motivation to win the next test match, and then everybody will forget about this funeral of a match.
To be honest with you, they were in this game, and I think they adapted to the pink ball quite well for the first 2 days. So I don't think it's a case of them playing with the red ball or the pink ball. That's the issue. It's just an issue of application.
Used to the red ball,
and there was no sort of application.
Yeah, and also the pitches won't be as hectic as this pitch. Not that I'm saying this pink ball pitch was
application.
Yeah, it will help them out much more. The pitch,
there was no sort of application, and
but the pitches won't be as hectic as this one, so it's fine.
Yeah, and if I look at this. Yeah, I mean, and what it how it played out on day 3, but it all goes down to application at the end of the day. It's about sticking it out there. Your first, especially in Australia, I mean, your first 20, 30 balls is the most difficult. I think if you can get through that. There's runs to be scored on those pitches, and tough session, and there were runs to be scored thereafter, especially and Pujara as well. So they dug deep, And for those 2 players, obviously, it just seems like when it comes to this Indian side, a player like Kohli gets dismissed. It seems like the entire batting lineup around him crumbles. So.
Oh yeah, like today, Sachin Tendulkar.
It's something they need to look at.
It's the same thing with Sachin Tendulkar. When he got out, the whole team crumbled.
Well, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah, it's funny.
Well, to be honest with you, I would think Sachin probably had better players around him. Had much more experienced players around him than this team. Yeah, for sure. I mean, rather the wall in test, you had the likes of Lakshman, you had Sehwag up the order, and you had Ganguly at number 6. I mean, that was a good batting lineup.
Yeah, the batting lineup of those days was phenomenal, but the bowling attacks of those days were average. Yeah, the bowling attacks in those days were average, with due respect to the bowlers they had back then. But today's bowling, India.
I would say so.
Yeah,
I would say so. But if I look at this batting lineup, especially, there seems to be a lot of fragility in terms of the top order.
Yeah.
In terms of the top order, especially a guy like Shaw. He didn't have a good test, but I would think the selectors. I think the selectors, to as bad as he played in this test match here,
they might give him one more chance, and then they'll put Gill.
Being a selector, I would think he deserves one more chance because I don't think bad form goes. I don't think bad form actually is bigger than when a team plays bad collectively, and the Indian team played bad collectively in this series, in this test match. So
Yeah.
I don't think you could single out one player. You probably got to single out the entire team for this performance, to be honest with you.
It's a shame that
Probably
one
got to single out the
different.
entire team for this performance. And
Yeah.
we can talk about the changes that are coming in, but I think you gotta take a leaf out of the way Kohli batted in the first innings and the way Tim Payne batted in the in the
And
Australian
he's the man of the
innings,
match, as you can see here.
Absolutely. I think Payne was probably the only batsman on that wicket that probably came in and was fluent, from his first 6 balls. I mean, he hit a boundary. I think he did hit a boundary in his first 6 balls. And, he looked fluent at the wicket. It didn't seem like he wanted to be dictated by the bowlers. And what I saw before that was a bit of, I think it was uncharacteristic of Australia. Especially in home conditions, they were a bit too. I think they were a bit too bogged down. You probably say India did bowl well, but I think Australia probably they didn't rotate the strike that much and so forth. And if it wasn't for Payne's innings of 73, and I know he was dropped quite a few occasions, and India
don't
can.
remind me.
That is another issue of aspect of the game that they got to look at.
Yeah, 73 of 99
so
balls.
many drop catches.
Yeah.
It seems like it's a pandemic ever since they've got to Australia. They've been dropping catches from.
Yeah. So in hindsight, I think India deserved to probably lose this one because you cannot win a match dropping catches. Fine, they got the lead, but I think they were kind of lucky in that sense.
India. Absolutely, but I mean, in hindsight, you would definitely say that second innings on day 3 probably, that was it. That was the writing on the wall. And even if you look at that innings, I mean, it was 15 for 2, and then it was 15 for 3, and 15 for 4. I think when the dismissal of Rahane was probably very crucial there, because I think when he went out, you almost got a sense that it was the writing was on the wall here big time, and this was going to be some sort of capitulation. And then Kohli was Kohli was the only one that probably came out a little bit of aggression, came out a little bit of positivity, because I mean you're not going to hang around here and try and block your 100 balls. I mean, you're definitely there's definitely going to be a ball that's going to get you out here or there. So you probably got to come out and play positive cricket. And I think that's what he did. Unfortunately, he got caught at gully. And Cameron Green, the debutant, he took a wonderful catch there. So really unfortunate.
I think on that pitch, you probably just going to have to go for it, even if you look silly going out. But it's better going out being aggressive than.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. But anyway, I think
absolutely. I mean, look at the way Payne played. I mean, I think he deserves being man of the match here, because I mean he showed a lot of intent. He didn't want to be dictated by the bowlers, and he let the game let the game move forward, and which is very important. I always got a sense that Payne was going to probably bat the whole of day 2, because I mean the way he was looking so good, and then finally the last wicket went down, and then India had to come in for 6 overs under lights, which was tricky as well, and they lost a wicket.
Which was okay.
But I mean, nobody would have predicted the capitulation that we saw on day 3.
Yeah, I think the commentator
I just want to get back to what you were saying.
No, I was going to say that the commentator. I just want
to get back to what you were saying.
Okay, all right.
Look, from an Indian batting lineup and Indian team, I think there's going to be some scars. There's definitely going to be some scars after this game, because I mean, especially when you get bundled out for 36, there's going to be a bit of scarring. It's about how quickly they can get themselves up together, and I think selection is going to be crucial. As I say, dropping Shaw is not going to solve the problem, because the entire team obviously has to take blame for this defeat. I would stick with Shaw up the order. for the second test, and I'd probably bring in Gill. And I'll probably bring in Gill for Kohli. I think that's probably quite an easy swap there. And then the bowling, probably we're not sure what's the situation with Shami, if he's going to play on Boxing Day. I'd probably bring in a guy like Siraj or Shami or Saini, but I would probably bring in Siraj to replace Shami, because obviously he's got that extra pace which you would need. And I mean, Adelaide, we can go on and on about the pitch, definitely.
I think the pitch wasn't
there
that
was
bad.
some deviation on day 3. No, it wasn't that bad. The Australians just bowled beautifully, and to be honest with you, that's probably the best session of bowling that I've seen in a long time. Probably the best I've ever seen a team bowl in tandem. I mean, 3 bowlers bowling in tandem, the way they bowled, it was exceptional, especially Cummins and Hazelwood. They were unplayable at times in that spell. But heading to Boxing Day now, the Melbourne Test.
Okay.
And I think that pitch in Melbourne would probably suit India a little bit better than this one in Adelaide, because there was a bit of movement. And Melbourne,
right.
in the past couple of years has proven to be quite tough for bowlers.
Yes.
It's proven to be quite tough for
the
bowlers,
one match
because there hasn't been
England, and
hasn't been much movement of.
Yeah, I remember that one boring draw against England, and then India beat them the last time. Yeah, that was fun to watch.
Absolutely. I think the last time India played at Melbourne, that would give them a lot of that would give them a lot of belief.
But I'm sure the
India
pitch
did bowl very well last time.
Hopefully the pitch might be a little bit more sporting, because Melbourne pitches have been a bit dead and slow. So hopefully it's a little bit more sporting, but hopefully still
there hasn't been much movement of the surface, I think, in Melbourne in the past couple of seasons, because you've seen some big first inning scores, and then the pitch dries out a bit, and it gets better for batting. But I think in Melbourne, you probably got to have a little bit more pace. You probably got to bend your back there and hit that ball in the pitch and try and get that movement, because I think you've got to bowl a little bit faster to get that sort of purchase in Melbourne, because there's not much movement of the air. And if you look at the way India.
Yeah.
Say again?
I think Bumrah bowled well last time.
Yeah, Bumrah bowled exceptional last time in Melbourne, because he's got that skiddy action, and obviously the pace troubled the Australian batsman last time around. But I think they're a little bit more. They've gone back and they looked at the way that they approached Bumrah, especially in the last series, and they did their homework. You can see it. They did their homework against Bumrah. So it's going to be a real test for India. The pitch is definitely going to suit them a little bit better than the Adelaide surface. But they're going to be missing Kohli, and they're going to be missing Shami. So
I wonder who will replace Shami now.
Team like
so anything who will replace Shami?
An Indian team. Definitely Shami is really going to be a doubt. But I just want to say something: an Indian team without Kohli, they just lack that intensity.
I think give Rahane a chance to captain. I think he's not a bad captain. I think it could be
with Kohli.
It would be fun to see Rahane captain, and I'm sure if Gill gets his chance to play, that would be nice. But then hopefully Gill replaces Shaw, and then you get someone who will take Kohli's place. But who will they be? Oh, yeah, probably Rahul. That's probably the thing I can think of right now. On top of my head.
You probably got to get it. You probably wouldn't write that off as well. But I would think it'd be unfair to drop Shaw after just one test.
Yeah, but
probably got to give him a run and see how it goes.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
I know what you're saying, but I think you got to kind of be ruthless right now. You can't just play sentiments by giving people chances now because if they won
yeah,
the first test, you could have probably done that. But I think also Cody's not there, so you need a bit of solidness in the batting. I mean, it might be, but then if I think about it, Shaw can't be any worse playing it in Melbourne because the pitch won't do that much movement. So maybe, yeah, I'll give him one more chance and then take it from there.
absolutely. But getting back to that topic about dropping and changing plays, I think India can probably make a change with the wicketkeeper as well. If they want to, if they need to take the
Oh
game,
yeah, you
they,
just
they, they need they
reminded
need to
me
be a
of
little bit aggressive
something.
here now because you got to
Yeah.
remember that Kohli is not going to be there, so there's going to be they're going to be missing a lot of runs in the middle there. So you
Oh
got to
my
have
gosh.
batsmen that's going to be able to cover up
You just reminded
those
me of an idea. You just
runs.
gave me an idea what India could do. Maybe India could do this idea, and I don't think they'll ever do it. Maybe they could bring Rishabh Pant for Kohli, and they could do a strategy whereby you can have like a pinch hitter situation of opener. I wonder if they'll ever do it. But just to unsettle Australia, have a left hand, right hand combination, Rishabh Pant to open the batting. What do you think? It could be kind of fun though to watch because Rishabh Pant is such an aggressive player. It might have put Australia off their guard. That'd be kind of fun actually because India does need a bit of aggression and you can play two wicket keepers. Ridhaman is a better wicket keeper than Saha, so you need a good wicket keeper, especially on those pitches. But then, to be honest, I think actually you might even if you drop Saha, but who would you bring in? That's a problem. Yeah,
I would
yeah,
think that they probably go with dropping Saha and bringing Pant as a wicket keeper batsman. That would probably be the way forward. That would probably be one of the options that they do have. And yeah, definitely Jill in for Kohli. And that's, I mean, it all
but that
depends
won't happen.
on
But that
whether
won't
they want to
happen. I think
keep
Rahul
Shaw.
will come in his place. I think Rahul will come in for Kohli. The Indian selectors are a bit conservative, so that's the sad story of that all.
Judging by what I've seen in the media, I would think that Gill has a really good chance of making this making a run out in Melbourne. He looked good in the warm up matches, and
Yeah, yeah. And even Pant looked good in that
this
warm up
is
match.
this is
Pant was
definitely
whacking
his
it.
chance. Yeah, no, of course, this is definitely his chance. So I would think Gill is going to come in and probably up the order, and yeah, there would still be place for KL in the middle order
Yeah.
to what you call to replace Kohli.
Yeah, man.
But it all depends if India want to go in that direction, or they might just stick with the openers and stick with the wicketkeeper and just make one change with Gill for Kohli. So that would probably be the situation. But KL has obviously played in Australia before, so
Yeah,
that would
man.
obviously play to his advantage as well. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see who they
mm,
who they bring in for
mm,
that second test.
mm.
India, they're a proud nation, and they'll be hurting. So they want the response,
Yeah.
especially in this second test
But I guess
on
the
Boxing Day.
consolation. But if you look at the 30s,
I
yeah,
think I would think that first session on Boxing Day
yeah,
is really going to tell us where this test match is going to go.
yeah.
I think whoever bosses that first session on Boxing Day is probably going to go a long way to winning this match.
And not only that, India need to bat first
Yeah,
and
so
long, break those bowlers down. Pujara
absolutely,
versus bat, bat,
that's one
bat,
of the
bat,
ways.
bat, bat.
The
Pujara
toss is
must,
going to be crucial
yeah,
there.
yeah. You know what should happen? India should bat so
But
long, make about
from
400 plus, and bowl Australia out so cheaply that the poor bowlers have to get out again, like in this first test match. But it just worked out for Australia that they bowled out India so cheaply that it didn't
from
really make. Yeah.
from an Australian point of view, I think Warner is probably going to come back into this test match, and then up the order, it's going to be an issue with Matty Wade. I don't think Wade played that badly in this game yet. I actually like Wade up the order. He seems to be quite an aggressive player. So that would be probably a swap. There'll probably be a quick swap there between Warner and Wade, and Burns as well. He didn't look that good in the first innings. He hasn't been scoring much runs in the first class, but he finally got a 50 in the second innings and took Australia home. So that was good for his confidence. I don't think Australia would want to make any other changes in the batting lineup. Even the debutant that played, Cameron Dean, I think they'd want to have him in the side because he's obviously a fifth bowler for them. So he can share the workload of those fast bowlers, which are bowling so superbly at the moment, and it's going to be so difficult for India to negate that, especially with Kohli not being around there. So
Australia might be more aggressive now towards India now that Kohli is not there.
Yeah, it's going to take a monumental. As I say, it's the only thing probably that's in their favor is that Melbourne pitch is probably going to suit them a little bit better. So it'll give them an opportunity to build an innings and get a first innings score. But as you say, if they're going to bat first, they got to bat big. They got to make it count.
Okay, I think we've exhausted this funeral of a match. Let's get to New Zealand and Pakistan. Yeah, man. And the more I look at that match, especially it's just depressed me. So I'm trying to look at New Zealand and Pakistan now, and even this is even more depressing in the sense that you wanted Pakistan to at least get one of these two matches, but New Zealand have probably won the series already. If you look at the first one, Duffy. New Zealand and the players get interesting names, Duffy, but he did well. Yeah. Not close. If you look at
this was a bit of a shocking start for Pakistan with the bat in this game, yeah. But somehow they managed to get to 153 for 9, and bowling second and the lights there. They gave it a good first. But I just felt they were 20 runs short here of a good total, testing in New Zealand, because Pakistan, I mean, it's always been the case, and their strength lies in their bowling. So if their batsmen can obviously get a good competitive score on the board, their bowlers are more than capable of defending those totals. And it was really disappointing that they couldn't get 25 runs more. It would have been a good game, but they lost this game by not having enough runs on the board. And another clinical performance from New Zealand. They've been looking so good at home this season, unbeatable in some of these games. But Pakistan, I felt even yesterday's game that I did watch, second T20, they don't seem to be they haven't seemed to be adapting to that pitch. Those pitches in New Zealand is yet they just need a little bit more time, and I'm not sure if they have that much time to adapt because those games are coming thick and fast. So their batsmen, especially their top order, which has failed in his last two games quite badly.
Southee was deserved man of the match there with 4 wickets.
Definitely, I mean, he bowled a superb test match then, swung the ball away, and caused the Pakistanis a whole lot of problems.
I
just want to give credit to.
Oh, sorry.
I just want to give credit to Hafiz there. I mean, if it wasn't for his majestic innings of 99, I mean, it was that innings was a joy to watch. He was so superb, so controlled. Only God knows what Pakistan would have made in this innings. So, at the age of 40 and still, chalking out performances like this, I think you got to give him a lot of credit. And it's up to Pakistan now.
I didn't realize actually that old.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around forever. He's been around forever, and he's so superb in the way he gets his job done. So I think Pakistan requires a little bit more from the top order to challenge New Zealand.
Yeah,
in this series. Yeah,
I don't want to make excuses for them because I'm not one for that. But if you've been reading the articles, they haven't really had much time to train because of the whole COVID situation. And fine, they also have to blame because their players weren't following the rules. But it's been difficult for them to really be able to prepare properly. So I think in hindsight, the series defeat was expected, but I was hoping in a way they would have used the opportunity to play as more of a revenge to try and prove a point that, you put us through so much pain, we'll give you back the pain by beating you. But maybe in hindsight, this result was going to happen anyway, because if you don't get a chance to prepare, pair, it's logic that you will lose. But the margins are pretty disturbing.
No, absolutely. I think also they've come in quite a young team, especially their batting lineup. They've got some young players up the order. So I think Afi's is probably the most experienced player in their batting lineup. So they need a little bit more time to acclimatize to the conditions. I'm hoping for a better showing from them in the last match. Let's see if they can salvage some pride. Yeah. And the test matches are going to be big for them as well. So let's see what we can they can conjure up in the rest of the tour. I think they do have the bowling attack. Question marks has obviously been on their batting for a very long time. How they play in foreign competitions, but they do have the bowling attack to cause New Zealand problems on this tour.
Oh yes. Oh no, there's also one more T20. So I just realized it now. If you look at the fixtures here, the last T20. So hopefully Pakistan can win this last T20.
Target that. They got to target that match.
Yeah, and then get some momentum for the first two test matches.
Yeah, probably they absolutely. Yeah. So it's all about momentum now. I mean, the series is done and dusted. You're playing for pride. You want to get a good performance in, get some confidence in,
You want to do a quick preview on your predictions for the test matches, or you just want to let this 30-20 slide?
This test series, it all depends on some key wickets, especially in the New Zealand ranks.
I want to say,
I think Williamson is going to be a key wicket for them. In these two test matches, because I mean he's been so superb in test matches.
I think New Zealand will be favorites as usual
in home conditions.
Test matches. I think New Zealand will be favorites for the test matches. The matches I want to say it'll be close, and Pakistan will be a lot better than the West Indies. But I think overall New Zealand is going to win this test series. Whether it's 1 or 2-0, I think New Zealand will win this one as well.
Pakistan, their side, you really don't know what you're going to get from them at times. They're so unpredictable.
Yeah.
They could definitely rock up on that first test and put in a performance that the world did not expect. From a neutral's point of view, I would think New Zealand would be favorites to win the series.
Yeah.
Outside, but I wouldn't be surprised if Pakistan do actually upset them.
It'll probably be a drawn series. It'll probably be a drawn series 1-1. That's the best I can see for Pakistan.
That would actually be a good result for Pakistan if they could get a drawn series 1-0. I think that would be superb against a team that's playing so well at home.
I think the pitches might suit Pakistan also bowling wise, because they always make those pitches so damn green. You don't know what the outfield is like sometimes.
I mean, and that New Zealand attack as well has been bowling so superb over the past year. So the Wagner, Bolton, Jameson. So they attack that's really causing batsmen so many problems, especially the teams that are touring there. I know India had huge problems when they went there. They toured in, I think it was earlier this year in Feb. And
you have a good memory.
The West Indies had all sorts of problems. I mean, and New Zealand are on a roll, hey? New Zealand are on a roll. So
on home conditions,
Pakistan would probably be much better than I expect Pakistan to play much better than the way West Indies, right? Because they're better all-round side. So I'd expect them to give a much more stronger performance than what the West Indies offered when they toured New Zealand.
Yeah. I mean, what I would hope, and I know I shouldn't hope this, but if Pakistan can win the first test, and if there's any rain for the second test match, then it at least gives them an easy 1-0 win. But it won't happen. But anything can happen, I guess.
Anything can happen. Yeah, but I would say a drawn series would be like superb for them. in a way, because New Zealand are playing such great cricket at the moment.
Yeah, I think it's more
you know,
about complacency. I think if New Zealand are complacent to the basics right, which they generally do, most of the
absolutely.
time, then it should be
I
another.
mean, they've got. I think the one thing that New Zealand have got to be wary of is the bowling attack of Pakistan. They've got superb swing bowlers, especially a guy like Afridi. He can swing the
Yeah,
ball
but the
both ways.
Pakistan batting is the problem. I think if Pakistan bats well, then I think it'll be a very good series to watch because if Pakistan can at least make 300, the bowling attack should do okay. Then it should be fine. Hopefully, they just don't do what India do: go out for 36 in the second innings, even if it starts so well. So
Absolutely,
yeah, I shouldn't be so negative.
absolutely.
That's fingers crossed.
The
for
New Zealand
Pakistan.
pitches have been quite spicy.
I know. It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, the New Zealand pitches have been quite spicy.
Yeah.
The New Zealand pitches have been quite spicy for their bowlers. So, yeah, I'd expect the same thing. I expect green tops because that's exactly what their bowlers want these days. So, it's how you adapt to it. And as an international team, you really can't really make excuses on the pitches anymore because it is what it is. And you see it in India as well. I mean, you get those turning tracks. You've got to adapt as a team. I know, you know, probably the best test teams around. South Africa, I would say 6-7 years ago, under the captaincy of Smith, that was a good test team, and they could adapt to any condition, anywhere in the world, and that's why they were unbeaten for such a long time. Australia, another side that can adapt, although they don't really play that well in subcontinent, so that's one part of the game that they probably want to improve. But yeah,
so bad.
in order to be a good test team, you got
Australia
to
came
be
to
able to
India.
adapt.
They competed quite well. So they're not the worst touring side. Australia. Remember, it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
That year. I think India pipped it 2-1, and that was quite a the usual spicy series in terms of all the off-field stuff. But it'll be fun though when Australia do tour India. But as usual, I think India.
I would, you know, if I had pick a test team, you know, that really dominated for quite a long time, I would pick that SA team under Graham Smith. They really dominated Test cricket for a very long time, and you know, rightly so. I mean, they were superb in all conditions, and to be undefeated away from home for 9 years, I think that's a huge effort. That's a humongous effort from the team. So they were a superb team.
Yeah,
and they had the likes of Markle, Stay.
Yeah, and now that you've got into South Africa, here's your wish. We're in the final segment now of SA versus Sri Lanka. Now that we've got double the pressure, now that we've called it out of the way, let's hope for a little bit of happiness.
Yeah, man. Yeah, look, it's a very quick tour. This 2 test matches, but it's a huge tour for it's a huge series for the Proteas. After what we've seen over the last year, I mean, this team has really been in transition. You can really say this team is really in that transition mode at the moment. So in home conditions and in two venues that they really do play well.
I think they chose well this time. The venues
for a very long time now.
Good thing they chose better venues for the both of the
and the Wanderers pitch. Absolutely, the Wanderers pitch as well. That obviously is going to offer them a lot of assistance.
Hopefully,
with the ball especially. So I think they'll be welcoming a guy back, like Aiden Markram, up the order, because I think they really must Markram in that test series against England. He was going to be a big player, and you know, unfortunately, he got injured. It's a huge series for them. I was seeing the Proteas on home conditions. They would probably want to win this one 2-0. Even though they're going to be missing a guy like Rabada.
Oh yeah, forgot about
I think they've got the pace attack to trouble Sri Lanka. Yeah, they're going to be missing Rabada, but I think they've got the pace attack to trouble Sri Lanka in these conditions. And the Sri Lanka team probably missing a bit of experience as well. You know, they also in that rebuilding phase. So we are really not sure what sort of team they're going to be coming here with. It's difficult to actually predict the starting 11s for both these teams because
But I
of
think,
what's gone by. So
even though Sri Lanka won the last time, I think we will be favorites for this one because I think we'll be more like looking out for revenge in a good way. I think, and also we'll want to just get out and just play some cricket and show the world something. So I think we'll be favorites on those bases.
yeah.
I think Sri Lanka.
Yeah, I think the last time Sri Lanka came here, I mean, I don't want to make these sort of excuses, but I think those pitches really suited Sri Lanka very well, especially in Durban and in PE. Those pitches are much slower and lower, as opposed to the Centurion pitches, which are obviously offers a lot of bounce pace. So the Proteas always perform well in Centurion for some reason. That's been their happy hunting ground for a good couple of seasons now. So I expect them to keep that good record going there in Centurion. And then Wanderers is always going to be a challenge for any visiting team that comes here.
Yeah, but I guess in hindsight, I mean, for those pitches, like as you just mentioned before, maybe they should just leave grass on those pitches. Not a lot of grass, but just to give the home side some advantage. Because this last time they should have just put grass on some of those pitches. Not too much because you don't want to make it overboard. But I remember they used to have done. They used to have put pitches on all the. I mean, they used to put grass on all those pitches, but then for some reason after that Wanderers incident, they stopped doing it, and I think it just messed us up a bit. But anyway, that's
I know. I mean, the Wanderers incident with India, but I mean, I think they played Australia after that on that same weekend, and that turned out to be a belter of a wicket.
I thought that was a great pitch. I mean, SC batted really well on that. SC bowled brilliant.
And they're the Wanderers, yeah. So I mean, I expect the bowlers to come to the party here because I expect a bit of grass on those pitches, especially in Centurion. I mean, that Centurion pitch, especially on day one, it zips all over the place. So if they say win the toss, I wouldn't be surprised if they put Sri Lanka in to bat in that first test. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how it goes. But I say it's a big series for the Proteas, and I think that's one they'll be targeting a win. Clean
So
sweep.
you are predicting a 2-0 win there?
At this given time, I would say, nothing less than a 2-0 would be.
Even if we get 1-0, I think that's bad. I still think it'll be like a good Christmas gift for us, considering with all the depression we've gone through. And I think
I know, man.
Take whatever we can get, But yeah, 2-0 the bonus, but 1-0 I think could be a starting point.
It's very difficult to get draws on pitches here in SA because I mean they are so spicy. They are so spicy, so it's very difficult to get a draw. And I haven't
playing in those other
seen a flat pitch in SA for a very long time. Yeah, absolutely. I think the closest game that probably could have went to a draw was last year in Newlands when SA were just hanging on against England.
Oh yeah,
and they were like a couple of overs away from drawing that test match, and they ended up losing
Stokes,
it.
The man.
We all know what happened afterwards. I mean, it all went pear-shaped for the Proteas thereafter, losing Rabada, and then it was downhill. It was downhill from then on. But I think now it's a new season.
Yes.
They've got to come up with a new game plan. I mean, you just gotta flush out what's gone before you. It's a new season. It's a fresh start at home, so you want to get a positive result. And there's no reason why they can't win the series too. There's no reason why they can't.
Yeah. The only thing that could prevent us is more of our mental state of mind because we've gone through quite a lot with COVID, as with the second wave. So they just got to, hopefully the coaching staff is just got to try and sort them out mentally, because I think I think their state is good. I mean, not state. I mean, their skill is good. Sorry, and I think the sort of the mental and everything will take place, and then a win is a good start, whoever it's against. But I have a theory, because I know regarding the pitches now. On the final note, I think because there are so many grounds in South Africa, you can't discriminate. In this case, it's fine to discriminate because you need to get a win, but future, maybe those pitches that are low and slow, use them for lesser teams, like for example Zimbabwe, or who the other one you could use it against? I could say Bangladesh, but Bangladesh aren't the worst if you're going to put them on those pitches. But you got to do something. You can't discriminate, I guess, on grounds. But this time it's fine. But future, I don't know. I don't know if you think my thinking.
I think looking at conditions here in SA, if you look over the years and even the past, say, 20 plus years. The teams that actually have had good pace attacks, the likes of England, the likes of Australia, they've actually done well on these pitches and actually have gone on to win matches, a test series. So this is still one of the most difficult places in the world to come and win matches, especially test matches. So
yeah,
the challenge is still immense here.
yeah. Okay, I think I think we've kind of wrapped up our show. So it's been great having your time, and we will as usual catch up.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for having me. Chat soon.
Sure, man.